All right. Well, welcome, Emmanuel Bible Church, to another Pastor's Love Cast. Well, tonight we're back on the air to spend about an hour with you guys, and I'm joined with my host, Pastor Nam Park.
Hello.
I don't see you. You on the screen?
Yeah, I'm on the
Oh,
screen. You
there you
can't
go.
see me?
Okay, I see you. All right. And also, instead of Pastor Dave Yu, who gets the night off tonight because he doesn't want to be on here, we are joined instead with another guest host, Yoongi George Park, Elder George Park. Where's his picture? How come he didn't come up, man?
I don't know. I don't think he was planning to come on.
Oh, I thought you said he's going to come on tonight
No,
to be with us. Okay, all right. Well, George,
no.
I guess just me and Nam then tonight. So as you can see, we really rehearsed this out well tonight. But anyways, hey, how's things going with you?
Things are good. I'm here just in my normal study and just relaxing and stuff.
Yeah, I could tell. Dang, man, you really did when you did the remodel. You really did it up, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Thought I'd make it look like Doctor Strange's study, but you
Yeah,
know,
you did a great job on that, my brother.
yeah, yeah, it looks pretty good.
Yeah. So, being back in your house and all that, that's a good thing. Hopefully, we'll be um, out of the house before too long. Maybe just another month or so, huh? Before we can kind of get out of this place.
Yeah, Lord willing, man. It would be nice. I'm sure all of us, everyone at church and everyone that's listening in, you guys have been out, just at least getting a walk occasionally, but it
Yeah,
would be nice for us to gather together as a church, to kind of see each other face to face and not just on a video screen. It would be, yeah, looking forward to that, Lord willing, sooner rather than later.
for sure. So, but as we kind of keep an eye on that situation, and as we're already talking about what life would be like getting back to church, we would certainly let you guys know what the plans would be as they kind of unfold. But I think we're still about a good month away from that happening or so. But in any case, it's a conversation that's ongoing, and just to kind of keep your minds at ease, we certainly are looking to implement what we think is going to be the safest and the sanest plan to start going back to church again. But as we get closer, we will we'll be talking about that, and hopefully again it won't take too long to get all this back in motion. Well, what I wanted to mention, kind of like what we did last week, is mention a couple of birthdays today. And for one that's close to home to me, my daughter, Claire, turned 12 today.
Yay. It was today?
Yeah, it's her birthday today. And
Oh,
yeah, so this is probably the lamest birthday she's ever going to have, though, being stuck in the home and all of that. But she had a pretty special day today, even despite all that. And just one of the things that I'd like to mention about it is Lisa organized a number of her friends and people that live in our neighborhood to do a car parade. So Claire came out around 3 o'clock today with us, and they drove by, and everyone had their cars decorated with happy birthday and this and that, and they all wished her a happy birthday. And so that was pretty special. That was very thoughtful, and we're really thankful. So thank you to all you, Valencia, and even Izzy, and she drove from the valley. Lisa from Burbank. Thank you guys for doing that for Claire, and she really appreciated that. And I think that was a very touching event for her. So
man, that's really sweet. That's really sweet. Good job,
yeah,
Auntie Lisa.
Auntie Lisa, that was nice, and so many of the
Hmm.
families that came out for that. And it's also another neighbor of ours' birthday today, and that is Mimi Chang. Mimi Chang,
Yay.
Mimi Chang, who also turned
I think
I
she's
don't,
12 also. Isn't she 12? I thought she was 12 too.
yeah. So anyway, if you want to guess how old Mimi is, you could text me and we'll read it on here. So, but anyways, I thought we would sing happy birthday to both Claire and Mimi. Okay, so let's sing to Claire and Mimi. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Woo! Happy birthday, dear Mimi and Claire Bear. Happy birthday to you. All right. Happy birthday, you guys. Happy birthday. Happy birthday from all of us to all of you. Um, one other thing too, for Claire's birthday, we did a Mexicali run tonight for a number of
Nice.
families in Valencia too, and had just a great dinner. And Paul, shout out to Paul and his wonderful crew at Mexicali, and just served a wonderful dinner tonight. And hope the rest of the flocks and regions, you can send some love his way, Terry and Yaki's way, Teriyaki Plus's way. Am I missing somebody? Rogers, I don't remember what Rogers' parents, the father's restaurant name, but anyways, remember the business owners though that are connected to our church, and I think Roger made a list of those places, so keep them in mind, pray for them too during this time. By way of announcement, we have this Sunday, following the Sunday morning service, we usually end the question and answer about 11 a.m., and that'll still be true for this Sunday. And then we're going to take a break for about 30 minutes. And then at 11:30 a.m., please log back on with us. And I'll send information out separately concerning this. But we are going to have a special big church presentation at 11:30 a.m. And we have these question and answers on Wednesdays, and we have something on Sunday for the adults. And we thought we would do something that would target just our young people for a special event this Sunday. And so we would invite all you parents too to stay logged on with us for that for that event. And we'll have something similar to what we do for Big Church, but but it'll be a little bit different, obviously because of the circumstances. And hopefully it'll be a lot of fun for you guys. And I hope you kids are going to be able to log on with us and check out what we do. And I hope you guys will get a chance to be blessed by that. So that's this Sunday at 11:30. So take a quick break and then log back on with us, and we'll have a good
Yeah.
time.
And when Gary's saying big church, he means children's big church, which is kind of the big, when all of our children's ministry gather together. And there's usually some teaching time and some announcements and songs and stuff. So it'll be for the kids, and hopefully, I don't know, we hear maybe some rumors that some special guests might be arriving,
We
from
will
out of town.
we will
At
have
least,
some special guests.
yeah. So it
Definitely
might be special.
some very special guests will be there on the telecast. So you really want to be there for that.
Yeah, I'm hoping one of my cousins might come. You never know. If we
Oh
can get one
man.
of those guys, that'd
Oh
be
man,
great.
you got a bunch of cousins though,
I do,
you know.
So we'll see. Yeah,
But, they're all sequestered too, just like us, all your
I,
cousins.
I know,
You know.
I know. Some of them are in other parts of the world, so we'll
That's
see if they can come on in. That'd be great if they can.
that's right. That's right. So please join us for that. And yeah, parents, I would encourage you though to be there for your kids as well, not just stick them in front of the TV, but to kind of watch with them and see kind of what we, something similar to what we do for our big church. And yeah, and hope you're there for that. All right. Well, my man, we have some We have some guests here today, and it's been fun to have the guests on this Wednesday live cast, hasn't it been?
Yeah, I think so. Just to kind of catch up with friends and especially church members that we haven't had a chance to see face to face, and just to kind of hear their voice and see their face, and just be glad that that they're part of our church family. So we've been missing people, and so
Yeah.
hopefully this will let us kind of see each other a little bit and appreciate what we're going through with each other.
Yeah, and we really do hope that this helps you to feel connected to some of our members that you don't see, because honestly, like with these three that we're going to talk to today, um I, I haven't seen them either, and so looking forward to just spending some time with our guests as we did last week with Joven and Winnie. What a blessing that was, spending time with Joven
Mhm.
and Winnie. I think a lot of people were blessed by that time, hearing their story. So without any further ado, we thought we'd spend some time with our guests. So let me introduce them one by one. First of all, at the top of the list here tonight is one of our deacons and one of our longtime members, our own Jacob Lee. Jacob, the older. What's up, my brother?
Hello, everybody.
Oh, how's it going, Jacob?
Good, good.
Yeah, look at you. You're so prepared for this. Look at your nice
Yeah,
headset
yeah.
going on.
This is what I look like actually most of the day. I sit here. This is like where I sit. And for anyone who's seen me in other contexts doing video, this is my spot. Yeah.
That's
You're
cool.
like the digital persona, like you probably don't actually exist in the real world, just in that digital frame right there.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, Jacob, you're one of our officers. You're a deacon at our church. Why don't you tell everyone some of your duties that you're involved with at our church, just so they know.
Yeah, so I've been serving. This is my second term now. So we do 3-year terms. So this is my second one. I originally started out doing a lot of back when we were at the SDA church, not in the current building where we meet. I've been doing a lot with the facilities, but not as much anymore. I would say my biggest part now is helping with the administration of the finances for IBC. So I'm part of the finance team that involves counting offering. There was more to count before before all this, obviously. But I'm still going to church once a week. So Nam would let me know if there's a mail. If there's a check, then I'll go and get it. Sometimes it's just one, but I'll still get it. Yeah. So there's the administration of counting with another usually for that, and then year-end statements that apply for tax deductions and things like that. So that's a big part of it. Yeah, working a lot with Danny and the rest of the finance team with whatever they need.
That's cool. Well, we remember when you were just a young kid coming into our church and so shy and everything, and to yourself. Now look at you, huh?
That's the same, I guess, right?
No, man.
No?
You're not the same. No. But you're a blessing to the church, and we're glad to have you here and spend some time with you.
Oh, thank you.
Our second guest tonight is another old timer that's been at our church for a number of years, also a former deaconess in our church, and that is our own Crystal Singh. There she is.
Everyone.
Hi, Crystal.
Hi, Gary. How are you?
Okay. Well, Crystal,
Hey,
you
Chris.
almost didn't make it on tonight, huh?
Yeah, I had a maintenance guy come because my bathtub was clogged, and if I'm honest, has been clogged for a very long time. But I finally called the maintenance guy today, and he came. He came at 5, and I wasn't expecting him to be here for so long. But I mean, hair is like a big problem. So
Oh,
he just left. He left like shortly before 8. So just made this.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
We were going to have him on tonight, We were going to have you both on, I had some
Hey, Crystal.
questions for him, so.
Christo, that picture behind you, is that the subway system where in New York?
No, so this is the freeway system of the greater Los Angeles area,
Oh,
but it's visualized as a subway map.
oh.
I really like maps, and I spend a lot of time driving on these freeways, so
Mhm.
I thought this one was cool.
Very
Wow.
nice.
That's really
It's
cool. How
good
long?
to see your face.
Yeah.
Good to see you guys too. I mean, I see you guys every week though, so I guess
Yeah.
it's not as special.
Oh, dang. Your face is less special now, Crystal Pepsi, huh?
No, you know,
Okay. How long you been at our church now, Crystal?
I started coming out summer of 2011.
Oh my goodness, almost a decade, huh? Yeah. Oh, that's great. Well, we're glad to have you here tonight, Crystal, to offer your unique perspective during the lockdown and all that. And glad to have you with us. Now, we also have a third guest who's not a longtime member like our first two, but is actually more of a newer member and only has been at our church, I think, less than 2 years, but I'll confirm that with her in just a second. But it's our own Ellie Tao. There's Ellie. Hi, Ellie.
Oh, hi.
Hi, Ellie. Ellie, how long have you been a member at our church?
I've been attending for 2 years, but a member for one.
Like a week.
Yeah.
Only a week. Oh my goodness. Wow. We were we really wanted to feature you badly. I guess you've only been a member a week, huh?
Hey,
All
Ellie, is that a Himalayan rock?
It
Salt
is.
rock?
I've licked it before.
Ah,
Have you? Is it really made of salt?
Yes, it's really salty.
Oh, so you could actually eat it.
Yeah, it's also a light. Like
What?
we're
yeah.
supposed to be salt and light.
You know,
Oh yeah, that's very good.
I thought you had to go to Berkeley to have one of those.
It's from my mom.
Did your mom go to Berkeley?
No.
You know, Lisa was trying to get Chie to get one of those for the longest time.
Oh, why? Like just because it's cool looking, or
Well, I think
what's
it would help her with her headaches and stuff. Yeah,
does it?
something about licking the salt and then staring at the light or something like that. And, you
Oh,
know,
it's supposed to be something about ions, something about positive ions and negative ions. I have one at work actually. I got it as part of like a work white elephant.
ah,
Picked it up and I was really excited because it was really heavy. And then
yeah, yeah. Well,
It was a giant rock of a salt.
yeah, I have a feeling in Berkeley what they do is they lick it, they turn the light on, and you know.
Oh
So, that kind
Oh,
no.
oh, oh, that turned all of a sudden.
yeah, Yunjin just texted, "Don't hate on Calgrads." That's not funny. That's what Yunjin's saying. That's not funny.
Hey, we are glad to have you guys on, and we asked you guys to come on because we thought, it's fun for us to connect with families, etc. But it's also important for us to connect with some of our guys that we may not see regularly, and so we asked some of our young and wonderful guys in our church to show their faces so that everyone else could see you guys too, and just kind of share what's been going on with you guys and how things have been panning out, in terms of being sequestered and being kind of shut in and what that looks like. So maybe we just start off with this. Why don't you guys kind of share with us what's your current living situation? Because I know at one point you guys all lived, in apartments. Are you still in your apartment? Where are you guys at? And what, how did you end up where you are right now? And is everything okay just being where you are? So why don't we start with Jacob? Jacob, where are you living right now? Don't give us the address or else we're gonna come TP your house. Just tell us what your living situation is like and what's going on with everything.
Yeah, you guys should have my address anyway. But yeah, I live by myself. I've lived alone for a while now, ever since I moved out here. So I'm in an apartment. Used to live in Burbank, but moved to the west side around about a year ago now for a new job. So yep, that's my situation.
And has it been easy for you? Is it kind of the same, or do you feel like, you know, being a little bit more cut off from everybody? Has it been a little bit more of a struggle? I mean, how's that been?
Cut off from anybody in terms of, you mean because of this current situation, right?
Yeah, not being able to get together and hang out.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what I mean? And stuff like that.
yeah, and there's a couple of things to that. I mean, even work. I'm working from home now since yeah, it's been I guess since mid-March or so, working from home. So there's not even interaction with colleagues face to face anymore. Everything's done kind of like this online. But even at work, a lot of us we don't put on the video. It's mostly just the audio part of it. And then yeah, and then on the other side, in terms of church life, socially, that's also affected as well. But overall, I mean, I would say being at home, like working from home, for example, there's definitely something comforting about it, right? Because you're at home, and you know what's the worst that it could be, because you're in the comforts of your own home, right? I don't have to get ready for work in the same way, or even go to work in the same way that I do here. But balancing that with you know, now I'm like home and work are in the same place, so it's not separate anymore, which that part of it I don't like as much. And then on top of that is so as much as there's the convenience of the work from home, there's also the general inconvenience of being, you know, quarantined or self-quarantined. So it has been kind of a mixed feeling in that way. But overall, if you were to ask me, like, would I want this to be over? And I would say, of course, yeah, like the sooner the better.
All right, thanks, Jacob. How about you, Crystal? How's things been for you?
Um, it's been an adjustment. I live by myself, also on the west side. I'm in a 1-bedroom, 1-bath. When did we leave Park La Brea? It's been well over a year now. I think we all moved out October of 2018. So I've been on my own since then. And I mean, it's been, yeah, I mean, I echo a lot of the things that Jacob said about just working from home. You know, it's been over a month now. We just got the email, and so they keep extending the time, right? Like when it first started, it was like, oh, you'll work from home until the end of March, and then it was, I think, May 4th, and I think we got an email either today or yesterday that they were extending it to, I think, May 18th or something like that, that we'll be expected to work from home. So that's been an adjustment. Like there's a lot of things that I'm thankful for. Like my job wise, the transition to working from home has been pretty smooth. They had a pretty flexible kind of work from home policy to begin with, where, you know, if you needed to be at home to get a delivery or whatever, like you were free to do so. So we all, like, technologically were set up to know how to like VPN in and get onto our networks and stuff like that. And I've enjoyed the flexibility of work from home, you know, like you can leave to go run errands kind of in the middle of the day that I otherwise wouldn't do if I were going into the office. I do very much miss people though, being in the office and just being around people. I think in general, I tend to need a lot of social interaction to be happy. So this has been hard when it's first started. And like, you know, remember when we didn't know what social distancing was? That was like a new term. Like I heard it and I was like, wow, that sounds like it'd be like my worst nightmare. So it's been a struggle, I think, at times to be content and to have joy in the midst of when it seems like a lot of the things that I value and that I enjoy are not available to me right now. but it's been a good, I think it's been good. I think I can still say that it has been good. So
Well, at least you could take like nice long baths.
yeah, now my drain is working, right?
Yeah, you never have to drain it. You just keep the
That's
water
great.
in there.
Yeah,
The
that's
swimming
great.
pool.
Eh, I just have a little bit of hair in it. That's all, right? What's the big deal?
Well, Crystal, I mean, that's part of why we wanted to have you guys on, because, if it's been tough, we want to at least hear that, to think of you, to send some love, and I'm sure people will appreciate that enough to kind of text you and just kind of let you know that they care for you, give you a digital hug, or I don't know, something. I'm sure there's something like that, but yeah, thanks for sharing that. How about you, Ellie? Ellie, you have a little bit of a different situation because you were living on your own with roommates, and now you're in a different situation. So tell us about what's been going on.
Yeah, well, I was living with my roommates until Easter. And I had wanted to come home a little earlier, but my dad actually got sick and he's a doctor, and so we thought that he had COVID. I
Oh,
mean, not that he was not that severely sick, but we just wanted to
mm,
rule that out before I came home. And so he got tested, he was negative, praise God. And so I came home like I think 2 weeks after he got better just to make sure that it was kind of out of his system. And then I came home on Easter Day. Yeah.
Oh,
so Ellie, that kind of sounds like were you planning to move back home anyway, or was that part of because everything was getting shut down and you were planning to go, and because of that you were going to go home?
I was kind of unsure. I think I my parents really wanted me to come home.
Mm,
Like they just really and I wanted to come home too, but I think there was a lot of uncertainties of like the nursing school was going to have us still come in for our public health clinicals, and so that would have been a factor. And but yeah, I wanted to come home. I think this is I haven't really been able to spend a lot of my time with my family since nursing school started, and I feel like this would be a great time to spend with them. Um, yeah,
and explain that, Ellie, because I know people have asked, and maybe they've asked you too,
yeah.
but because Ellie is a graduate nursing student, not an undergrad. For the undergrads, they're having a little bit of a hard time getting in clinical hours to graduate, but you're doing okay with all of that stuff, right?
Yeah. So, with us, they finished all of our hospital hours last quarter, and then the very last quarter of our program, we have public health clinicals, which are like outpatient sites. So I'm with an organization that works with the homeless population in Skid Row, and we've done all our meetings like on Zoom and been able to call in. And so, unfortunately, I think the undergrads, it seems like they're still going to be able to graduate. I'm not really sure. I think they're trying to make
Mm.
it work. But yeah, they're able to make us or to help us graduate on time.
Well, that's good. So Ellie, let me ask you a particular question. I mean, you're planning to go into the health field. Your dad is a doctor already. With everything going on, has anything changed in terms of, your desire for, to pursue nursing as a career, or maybe just, your fears or any anxieties? Has any of your perspective changed because we're living through a pandemic right now?
Yeah. I think when I first, like signed up for the nursing field, I had no like I just never imagined entering a pandemic, upon graduation. And I think um it's just something that I've never considered, but I really feel like God called me to this career and um to yeah, to care for people when they're vulnerable and to be an extension of him in this way. And so I still feel very strong about, like I hope that if the Lord wills, a hospital would hire me and that I would still continue doing his work in this way. When my dad got sick, it was really encouraging. He was just like, it's okay if I get COVID. Like, I don't mind. I'd love to see the Lord tomorrow. And like, that's the sort of attitude that, you know, he's always had in terms of like living for the Lord and this like fearlessness in the face of his health. And so I think like for sure I am nervous. Like there's anxiety and I'm scared. I'm like really scared. But I think and maybe it hasn't fully hit me yet because I'm not in the hospital right now. But I think I'm learning a lot on what it looks like to actively trust God in what He's called us to. And I think this is the place He's put me in. And I'm just going to be learning how to practice that each day. And so, yes, I still want to go into the nursing field, but yeah, I'm learning a lot on how to trust God with it.
Cool.
Yeah, that's helpful. Thanks. I wanted to ask you guys too about how is there something you guys are doing to stay connected to some of your friends during this pandemic? I mean, I guess the simple answer is like Zoom, right? Doing this, but is there something, um, some insights you guys have had to kind of keep your relationships going while you're isolated, by yourselves during this time? Jacob, you got something on that? What you've been doing?
I mean, yeah, a lot of it has been through Zoom. Some of it, for our own church body, small groups. We've still been meeting for small group. We still meet for youth group on Fridays, and that's been a wonderful time. It's not the same, but
Yeah.
it's still been an excellent time with the youth group staff. We regularly we talk, we have our meetings, we have a lot of Zoom going on there. And even for some non-church related people that I've had relationships with, like my former coworkers, I still keep in touch with. Every other week, we have a recurring meeting set up for Zoom, just in the middle of the day, just half an hour. That's my former team. So we talk, and what's been helpful to me also is, I know you guys might get that email from Phil about the prayer meeting. If you're a member, at least it goes out to the members. So that's been very helpful to me, not only to be part of praying for one another, which I think is an excellent thing to do at this time, but also just to further that fellowship with one another as well, which is a big part of the church that we're struggling with. That's the part that we don't really have right now, as much as we did before. So those are the ways, at least to the best of our ability, I guess, with the technology that we have, we've been able to still connect.
Well, that's
That's
cool.
cool.
How about you, Crystal? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. No,
No, I was just gonna say, and then Jacob, you didn't mention, since you live in a PC bong and have the whole gaming setup, like your online friends as you game, I'm sure that's part of your social outlet as well.
Yeah. I've never met them before, but whatever. Yeah, that's right.
You could do customer service too if you want right now.
Yeah, this is the one I use for work. I just brought it home, but I like it. You get the headphone and the mic. I don't know what I sound like. I'm just talking. I don't know what I sound like, but
Well, now that you mention it, interesting. You sound like Mickey Mouse, which is kind of weird, but we didn't want to say anything.
Oh yeah, my coworkers never said anything either.
Yeah, they don't want you to change it. That's why. How about you, Crystal? You've been finding ways to connect with people at church and otherwise?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the same things. Zoom, FaceTime. It's kind of funny. I was not into like a video chatting before. Like, I don't think I had I used FaceTime before. I'm not even sure. But that's it's like everywhere now. I didn't even know what Zoom was before all of this started.
I didn't either.
I know, right? And now it's everywhere. And yeah. But yeah, so a lot of that. We haven't actually done it so much recently, but a few weeks ago we were trying to do more like kind of game nights, just start a Zoom meeting and play games together. So that was nice. And
How do you play games over Zoom?
Yeah, what games are you talking about?
there's a lot of different things. Like there's a whole bunch of games called Jackbox. Jackbox is a company that produces pretty much party games.
Mhm.
They're kind of a pain to get though. You have to like download Steam and all this stuff. But some of their stuff is free. So they have kind of like these mini games where as long as one person has the game, then you can kind of have a Zoom meeting on and you can share your screen. And then
Oh.
everyone actually participates on their another device, like so either a phone or another computer,
Oh.
like that. Yeah. There's a Pictionary one that we've done that was pretty fun. We've done code names. So there's a lot of different things online because I think a lot of people are looking for entertainment and ways to kind of be interactive with friends and when you can't be in person. So those have been fun. I've been doing like grocery runs. So, go to the grocery store, ask people if they need anything. And I mean, frankly, it's kind of more for me, I feel like, because it gives me the opportunity when I drop stuff off to be able to see people, even if it's just to say hi and we chat for a little bit. But that has actually, it's been very helpful to even be able to see people on kind of a regular basis doing things like that. So
That's cool. Well, yeah, you got to do I didn't know what Zoom was either. And, it's not like video chatting was, something that we did all the time, but boy, it's sure nice that we have the ability to do it now that we need to do it. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, and I appreciate like some of the games that you mentioned and things like that that you could do online. And I forget what because I'm just thinking about the top of my head, but there's actually apps that let you start a movie simultaneously at different locations, so that you guys can literally watch like
Yeah.
Doctor Strange together or something. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you can watch the movie together and then be on something like this and just talk and go, hey, watch, this is where the guy does, and it's kind of like being in a movie. So I
Yeah.
think that's cool that there's things like that. I appreciate that.
I thought we should do American Gospel like that since we have all this time.
Yeah, I think it's hard to do, but we should. I think that'd be great. It's a great
Yeah.
movie for people to watch. That's for sure.
Oh, by the way, Pat Hom says Crystal's grocery runs have been super helpful. We are so thankful for her.
Oh,
Yeah,
good job, Crystal.
yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. How far do you deliver?
I
You
mean,
come all the way to Simi Valley.
if you want, actually. I haven't seen anyone. It's right, like so. I've seen kind of like the West Side people, but it's weird to think that there's like this entire like the majority of the church that I just haven't seen in person for weeks.
Yeah, he wants like KFC though, Crystal, not grocery.
That's Gary. Gary used to eat KFC. If we'd let him, he would eat KFC like almost 3 times a week during seminary. Remember we go to KFC so often?
Yeah.
And then I draw like devil horns on the Colonel. And
Yeah.
Gary would just keep cracking up and the professor would wonder why he's laughing in class.
Dude, when I was in seminary, I don't know that I ever cooked a single meal for myself, so I always had to eat out. And KFC, there were days where I would eat KFC for lunch and ate salt fish and chips for dinner.
Oh my
Those would be
goodness.
like, like my normal days,
Did
or
you
Sam
do-
Wu, because we lived right by Sam Wu. You remember how many times I eat at Sam Wu?
Oh man.
That
Sam
trip-
Wu is great. Sam Wu
Oh,
is great. I
Yeah.
love Sam. He's a good man.
Yes,
He's
Sam's a good guy, man. I really, if it wasn't for the social distancing, man, I'd give Sam a big hug, but
Did you eat that much KFC because you liked it, or because it was like of the options, it was like it was like a budget thing, like
no, I love KFC. I still love
He
KFC.
still loves KFC.
Yeah, we even made a song about it.
because I have
KFC and KFC is you.
one of my friends from high school, like her parents who were immigrants from China would tell me about how like when they were in grad school, they
Yeah.
had KFC for every meal because it's all they could afford. I asked,
Expensive.
so was it a choice, or was it a choice that was made for you?
KFC is expensive, man. If I was so well off, I could eat that for every meal, man. I might still be doing it. How about you, Ellie? How have you been staying connected with people at church and otherwise?
Yeah, well, lots of Zoom calls. Small group is still happening.
Oh, that's
Um, yeah, I've been like excessively baking like 4 times a week, and I've been able to like drop them off. And like Crystal said, it's more of a gift for me than maybe them, just because I get to see people and um it's super fun.
what are
Oh,
you baking, Ellie?
well, I jumped on that sourdough train.
Hey, me
Ah,
too. I've been
Really?
starting to make sourdough recently.
No way.
It's totally fun.
It's so
you're doing sourdough too?
You like
Yeah,
starter?
yeah,
No,
yeah.
Do you
I
feed
have a
every day?
starter. We so far we've been
I know he
baking
eats every day.
since since I think Sunday or Saturday. We've been baking at least one loaf a day,
Oh my gosh.
and we've
Yeah.
been eating it all too.
Well, you didn't have to say that. We knew that. And then George is saying he's making the sourdough too.
He wanted some
Wow,
starter, so I gave it to him. He hasn't started making anything, but hopefully he's feeding his starter, man. You got to feed it like a baby,
the
2
baby.
times a day, man.
Well,
Yep.
that's happening at our house too. I think every house is making sourdough bread.
Yeah.
IBC sourdough.
Dude, we're all gonna be like 500 pounds after this whole thing is over. You know, all this gluten and go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I've also been working out over Zoom with IBC members.
Oh, you
Really?
guys have? Oh, that's
Like
funny.
what? Like Zumba or something? Or
Yeah, that's funny, Zumba. But no, like yoga. There's also like a Nike training app, and they have a program that Sydney introduced me to, and yeah, you just like put it on and share screen and do it.
wow.
See, this is George's his uh his starter. Pretty healthy, doing good, George.
Work.
This doggone sourdough is like ruling our lives over here. Like everything revolves around sourdough bread in this house, you know? Like a timer is going off like every 30 minutes. Oh, we gotta flatten the bread or whatever it is. You know,
My life revolves around it.
Che was going out looking for, flour and bread flour. Like, don't go to the grocery store every day risking your life over flour.
The power of sourdough.
Yeah.
So Ellie, has it been socially? I mean, being back at home, I'm sure that's really enjoyable. Um, I mean, has that been a real blessing to you? And you know what I mean? Or are you kind of, you know, missing your roommates? I mean, things have kind of changed for you. So
Yeah, no, I definitely miss my roommates. I think it's different living with friends and family. Like I love my family, but I think God is showing me a lot of how impatient and um I guess I am with a lot of like especially my mom and my grandma. I think they just like love me so much that they just want to talk to me all day long. It's been a while. I think I really need space. And so I've been like struggling with that a little.
Are they
um
watching right now?
no, before this I was like, Mom, you cannot come and see me, okay? You can't come in. I need an hour. So actually like God's been doing a lot in my heart. Like I came home because I think there's a lot of while I love my family and my parents, I think there's a lot that God can do in this quarantine time to really like heal our relationship and restore it. And so I think I've been trying to I just work like just learn to love them and um yeah, just work through a lot of things that we've struggled with in the past during this time. So
Mm,
yeah, it's been enjoyable, but it's still something that I'm growing in. Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
Well, Ellie, we've asked you about, your grad stuff and your perspective on work. Let me ask these other guys what work has been like and how that's been. I know you guys are working from home, but Jacob, I know for you, things have been kind of tight in terms of your company. tell your church about what's been going on with you.
Yeah. So yeah, we've been working from home, and a lot of the company has been impacted. I haven't been working there that long. It hasn't yet. It's almost a year now. But we've already seen some of the impact of this coronavirus situation. Obviously, a lot of entertainment companies, I think, are in a similar. But even the bigger ones, no more summer blockbusters, and not having that, it also affects the rest of the year. Actually, it's a whole chain reaction of revenue streams there. And for us, we're more on the content creation side, but that has slowed. And without retail, retail is closed. No one's going to the mall or a GameStop or a comic book shop or anything like that to buy certain things. So that has been something we saw the impact of. So we've unfortunately had to take a pay cut. So for most of us, the highest executives took a certain amount that was higher, but for the rest of us, and I'll share it, it was like a 20% reduction, which is not,
Wow.
it's not small, but then I would say for me, do I necessarily, am I as impacted compared to some other people at work? And I would say there are definitely others, some of my coworkers who would be impacted more, especially if they have families, they're raising families. So yeah, you guys could pray for them. And for me, I'm thankful to God that it doesn't impact me as much, living alone. I should be able to manage that. But they never also told us when this would end. It's meant to be a temporary pay cut, and it's indefinite. So I have obviously no control over that, and even for myself, my own prayer would just be, through all this, that like what do I have control over? Like what can I control? And that's my contentment in this situation. And so that's really on going forward. Like, where do I want to focus on? And it's that. It's not necessarily to change anything that I can't change. I mean, Lord willing, it'll be lifted soon. But more importantly, can I be content, and where's my heart going to be despite this? So yeah, that's been a new thing for us. But on the more positive side, our company hasn't had to do too many layoffs. So that was kind of the it's almost like a compromise of where we can keep more people. But if we're going to keep more people, we do have to have pay reductions, unfortunately. And it's a difficult thing to roll out. And we don't have, and I understand, because we're also not a huge company. So we don't have as much resources as maybe someone who's bigger and who's able to weather this kind of storm as easily. So yeah.
How about you, Crystal? You said, things are going well in terms of working at home. Is there any concerns about, if this lasts a certain amount of time, or is business kind of as usual in the engineering field, software engineering field?
So actually this week, I think it was Monday, we actually got emails telling us that they were doing something similar to what they've done at for Jacob's company. So they're doing pay reductions. There's a definite time though. I think they start May 4th through September 4th. So it's a 4-month period, and it's tiered based on, how much money you make. So it was kind of a bit of a surprise, because so my company, the division that I work for, we're like a big giant corporation, right? But the division that I work for, we do things where a lot of our revenue comes from like online shopping. So we actually got an email last week from the head of our division, kind of talking about how like for us, like we're doing really well. Like traffic is up because more people are just at home and more people are online. And so there's more people shopping online. So it was like, oh, that's good news. And then we get this email on Monday that seemed kind of at odds with that. But it's because even though our division is doing well, our parent company, they do things, it's like a media conglomerate. So they have a lot of things that depend on like ad revenue. So a lot of magazines, and a lot of magazines depend on ad revenue. And advertising as an industry is not doing great right now. And so because of that, the main big parent company isn't doing well. So they've instituted something similar. I haven't heard anything about layoffs. They didn't mention anything. So I'm gonna assume that it's kind of similar. They opted to instead do pay cuts for people as opposed to doing layoffs. But I mean, I'm gonna, you know, I'm not worried really. I'm mostly just thankful because actually I got like a couple of weeks ago, it's been, I think 3 pay periods, I actually got a raise. And then so the pay cut actually is almost equivalent to what my raise was.
Oh,
So,
that's cool.
yeah, right. So even just being really thankful, like when I read the email and saw that, I was just really thankful that the Lord kind of provided in that way. You know, it's just so funny the way the numbers and the way that it worked out. Yeah, so I'm mostly just thankful. I've been very thankful for my job and the flexibility that it affords me. Yeah, so.
Yeah, and just as a general thing, like church-wide, guys, members and friends, if you guys are in a situation, you know, that you just would like us to pray for you, let us know, because I know I know for a fact, like I know that Janet Chun, you know, the project that she was on ended early, and I don't think she has anything lined up. So we could think about Janet, because she's technically, I mean, she's an independent contractor, but nothing's come down the pipe, obviously, and again, she's like in advertisement, so in that kind of field. And then I know Winston, he's been working at a PT place, and he hasn't been in to get any hours, like I think for 2 or 3 weeks at this point. So, and I'm sure there's other guys that are impacted by that among us, and so don't be shy about that. I mean, send in a prayer request, or at least let one of the elders or one of the guys that are in charge of the prayer list, TJ, the shoemakes, right? Like, let them know so that the rest of us can be thinking about you guys and praying for you guys too. So,
Guys, is there? I know you mostly, interact with singles, except for Crystal. You kind of have a little broader, touch. But is there anything that the married families could do? Married folks could do for you to minister to you? Is there anything that, anything we can do for you guys during this time?
adopt you or anything like that.
Yeah, I'd adopt you, but we can't afford to feed you. So, big problem.
You can feed them KFC, man.
Yeah, I can't feed myself KFC now. So, yeah. What do you guys think? Ellie, why don't we, since we've kind of neglected you for a while, we could come back and then go to Jacob and back to Crystal.
One thing that really blessed me was Suzanne and Caleb had me over for a Zoom dinner, and yeah, they just I mean, they've had me over many times before, but like it was just sweet to have them, to see their heart behind it. Like, we wish we could have you over, but this will do for now, and just ask how I'm doing, how they can pray, laugh together, talk about what we've been working through. And so that really blessed me. I think nothing really comes to the top of my mind except for just like, just checking in, asking how they can be praying. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's easy for us, to do that, Ellie. We don't have to feed you, we just kind of
I know.
on the screen, eat a steak in front of you.
I know. Yeah.
Okay, so just kind of checking in on you is kind of the thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do you think, Jacob? Anything us old married people can do to minister to you guys?
I mean, I would say, yeah, generally the same thing. I mean, yeah, just checking in, as some have already. I got some texts from some married folks. Even a phone call, if you can believe that. I got.
Wow.
Whoa.
from
What's
TJ.
our generation though, Jacob? Is it both?
No, I got one from TJ. Yeah, it was nice. He just called, wanted to just see how things were going, and also how he can pray for me, something like that. And you know, these are of course things you can do, you know, married or not. It's not
Yeah.
like something like we would ask that the married people do because they're married, right? It's
Yeah.
like anyone can do that. But I was especially encouraged because you know, maybe I normally wouldn't interact with them as much, so even that would be good, and it would be helpful. I did also have, I know we were talking about birthdays earlier, so I know a number of birthdays that happened within the last few months as well, or at least the last month or so, and yeah, I had to, you know, pretty much do nothing as well.
Mhm.
Although it remains to be seen if that was because of the coronavirus too, you know. But you know what? Pastor Dave invited me over. So the U's invited me over to their place that same day. So it was the next day. He just reached out to me and said, "Hey, why don't you just come over for dinner tonight?" You know, that same day. And you know, I checked my calendar, nothing was in there. So it was okay. And you know, I was very grateful to this, and this was like kind of like the beginning of that. This is
Yeah.
like mid-March, right? So before it even got worse, but even this was like good to just see them, to see their whole family at home, even their kids, talking to their kids. And they had a cake ready for me too. I didn't expect that. So that was
Okay.
very
Oh, that's nice.
very generous of them to do. And I know they mentioned that they want to do that with a lot of people in a variety of contexts. So
They've never had a cake for me when I've come over, Jacob. You know?
so yeah, that
You're one cake ahead of me, Jacob. You know, so
one what?
you're one cake ahead of me there. You know.
Well, Jacob is a one cake fan or one cake friend to David. You're probably more of a glass of water friend. You
Yeah.
know? So you come over, you get a
Right.
glass of water.
I should be happy for that, you know. So, yeah. All right. Well, how about you, Crystal? Is there anything the marrieds can minister to you guys?
I think a lot of what has already been said. I just think, you know, never underestimate the power of just like a simple text. You know, I think it shows a lot, right? Like that you were thinking of someone. I think for me that always is really appreciated, you know, even just a text saying, hey, hi, you know, how are you doing? Always really appreciate those. I have been very thankful for church family and for community and being able to, you know, see people in the restricted, you know, capacity that I have been able to. Actually, something that I've been very blessed by. Sometimes I'm like done when I come out of my grocery runs. I'm like, dude, I like made out like a bandit this time because people give me things, you know, like I have like sourdough croutons from Pat over here. I have a bunch of stuff in my fridge. I've been eating like very well, but none of it is food that I have made, which is great because I'm not good at making food for myself, you know, like kind of thing. So I have curry. I've had like cinnamon rolls because everyone's making cinnamon rolls.
Oh, really?
I think Eileen packed me a full-on like lunch the other day.
Oh,
Wow.
that's
Those
sweet.
things, you know, like that's been a very big blessing, and I've been very thankful for kind of those things.
The cinnamon roll thing hasn't caught on over here on this part.
Gary's holding his breath for that one. That's
Yeah,
a big deal to Gary.
that
Super
might
fun.
not go well if the cinnamon roll thing comes out this way, you know.
Cinnamon rolls and KFC. That's like maybe 1 and 1A for Gary.
That's a great combo right there. Yeah. Oh, well, it's been great catching up with you guys and just seeing how you guys are doing, and I hope it's an encouragement to the church just to kind of touch base with some of our members at the church, some that have been here for a long time and some that have been more new to the church, but we're all part of the same church nonetheless. and just to remember each other. And I know it's easier, depending on where you live, um, to reach out to, your area and all that. And I think, appropriately so, if you can just concentrate on your area, if everyone kind of does that, then we all kind of get, covered, so much. And, if you get out of your area every now and then to, drop something off at somebody's houses. And, I think I mentioned that last week. I've been really blessed seeing that and been the recipient of that too, of people just dropping off, food, gifts, letters and things to each other.
Large bags of money. No,
No, that's only in Animal Crossing. Yeah, that hasn't happened in real life, but whatever ways we can use to, to kind of remember each other and minister to each other. It's a great way to be, outreaching. And that's why, as we hear from everyone and kind of hear how everyone's kind of get their insights on it, and keep everyone kind of fresh in the minds of our people. You might see some of these guys that you haven't seen for, a month and a half or so, and say, maybe I'll drop Crystal a line, or, or Jacob or Ellie, and, see how they're doing. And that's, if that's what this does, then I think, that's, we've succeeded in terms of the purpose for this. So before we do sign off, Pat had one last important thing to say. You can use your sourdough starter for cinnamon rolls. So now I would highly encourage you to try to do that, especially because your dad used to make cinnamon rolls too.
My dad made some good cinnamon rolls, but they're very unhealthy. I mean, he would use just almost like, I don't know, maybe about a third of an inch of butter over the top of the whole roll.
That's why it's
you know,
good.
that's not including sugar and cinnamon, and delicious though. So delicious.
Remember, he was able to mimic the Cinnabon.
Yeah. But he felt after a while guilty because he thought it was so unhealthy that he stopped selling it like that. He would just bake them, like normal cinnamon rolls, because he thought that's too much.
Yeah.
You would sell them?
He had a donut shop for like 20 something years. And so there's a period of time when I hated donuts because we would eat donuts so often, and you'd smell donuts like everywhere. And then, after years of that, you go back to, especially after they stopped having a donut shop, then the smell of donuts and donuts just generally, you're like, oh man, that's wonderful. It's old comfort food.
Yeah. And that tradition continues to this day. So, well, thanks for joining us, you guys. We appreciate you guys being on with us. We'll see you guys all on Sunday morning at 9 a.m. for our Sunday morning service. And then again, children, join us at 11:30 for our special edition of Coronavirus Big Church. And we'll see you at that time. So, all right.
Thank you, guys.
We'll see you all later.
Thanks for sharing.
Thanks for coming on with us, guys. Good talking to you.
Bye.